Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. I had a really good weekend. Saturday, I went to a friend's house and we ate dinner and watched OU football there. I kind of joked because went to her house for dinner and then I cooked the whole meal, but it was all right. It was a good time getting to catch up and that sort of thing. So it was fun. And then yesterday, Sunday, I took off. I stayed for worship at church since I played the drums. And then after worship, I took off and headed to Tulsa, and I enjoyed a day at the zoo. And if you know me, then you know that I love animals. I sit and look at animals all day long, and I think I come by it naturally, being in the Houston bloodline, to just love animals of any kind and to love to watch them and just observe them. And it's a thing of beauty for me because I can see God by watching these animals. Because God created them. So I can see His creation as I watch these animals. And so last week was stressful for me. And I don't really know it was just a crazy week. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to take a day and I'm just going to go and I'm going to do something I enjoy. So I was like, let's go to the zoo. So I loaded up, solo trip to the zoo. It was awesome. Just a good breath of fresh air, if you will, to just get to do something I enjoy at my own pace and just spend time seeing God's creation through those animals. Got to see a baby monkey. Got to see a baby tiger. So that made it even better. All the animals were out. They were napping, but even then they were out, so that was really cool. But it was just a really great breath of fresh air, and I'm ready to start the week off, and hopefully it'll be a great week for everybody, as well as myself. So today's title, September 27th, Monday, is Cuddly Blanket. It says, "Blessed are those who are sad; they will be comforted." Matthew 5:4. It says, on a really cold night, you might need to wrap yourself up in a really big, cozy blanket. Do you have a favorite blanket to keep you warm? So I don't necessarily, well, I guess I kind of have a favorite blanket. I am always cold, always. Very rarely am I hot. So I always have a blanket on me, as well as, my quilt and all that, sheets. But I guess I have a favorite. It's not necessarily doesn't have any special meaning to me, I guess. It's got deer and it's red and brown, and I mean it's just a blanket. But that's the one that I'm like, this is the blanket that stays on my bed and it doesn't change. So I guess it's kind of special, but it's not necessarily one that I'm gonna take with me and wrap up. But it's still, I guess, somewhat. But I mean, as a baby, I don't even know that I had a special blanket as a baby. I might have, I don't know. But I know, being around kids now, I see that there's certain blankets or certain, toys or stuffed animals or that sort of thing that's their comfort. And so I guess that it could be something like that. It says, a blanket helps you to feel comfortable when everything outside is cold. God knows that sometimes we are really sad or upset, and He wants to make us feel okay in those times. Just like a big blanket, God covers our hearts in His love and makes us feel better again. So God is always right there in those times of despair, and just when your spirit is just crushed, God is always right there to just give us peace and give us comfort. And I think what I've experienced more and more as I've gotten older is God does that in His own spirit, but He also does that with the people that He puts in our lives. I have got a great support system around me, and I know that. And I reach out to those people daily, especially when, a day is just crazy and it's like everything is just coming at me from every which way, and my spirit is just depleted. I know that I have people that I can call on, that I can send a text, I can shoot a Snapchat, I can, give a phone call. Heck, most of them, some of them are teachers in the same school that I work at. So, Carline, whenever I work Carline, a lot of times that's my time to just get everything off my chest, because we're sitting there working Carline, so I can talk about what was going on during the day and what was frustrating, or what, was crazy, or what went really well. And so I've gotten to realize that a lot of the way that God comforts us is through the people that He puts in our lives. And I'm so thankful for that, because I am a people person, but I'm also an introvert. But I'm an introvert until I find people that I don't care to be around, I guess, is the best way to say it. And so, being a selective people person, whenever I find ones that I know are God sent, I am so thankful. But then at the same time, spending days like I did yesterday at the zoo, and just walking around, and I'm by myself, so I'm not carrying on a conversation with anybody, so I can just, I walked around the zoo just kind of praying and thought processing, and looking back over everything that happened throughout the week, and just praying that this week is gonna be a fresh start, for myself and for each one of my students that comes into my room. And just, there's something special about people and being with people, but then there's also something special about being by yourself and just you and God. And I think we have to have a balance of both of those. We have to be able to know whenever we've had too much of everybody and we just need some God time. I think as humans, we've gotten so accustomed to noise that we don't like silence. And so we tend to put off that God time, because God time requires silence. God can speak to you, but it's not like He's standing right in front of you like a friend would. And so we've gotten so used to being afraid of silence that God time gets pushed to the side. And so I think doing things that you can enjoy, so October 1st is coming up. I teach school now, can't be in a tree stand October 1st, but hunting is one thing that I love because it's God time. I get to be in nature, which I love. I get to see God's creation, which just adds to it. But then I'm also by myself, and I get to spend time just talking to God and having, good, heartfelt conversations with Him about God. This is what I'm dealing with right now, or it's amazing to see your creation, or can you help me in this area, whatever it may be. But as humans, we have to be willing to take that time and spend time in silence with God. No doubt, He gives us people in our lives that are there to encourage us and to help us walk through certain situations. I will be the first to admit that, because I have a great group of people behind me supporting me every step of the way. But we can't get so focused on what human people say, what earthly standard says, and forget about what God says. Forget to spend time with God and hear from Him what He wants us to do, what He has for us. It says, Jesus, thank you that when I'm upset, you comfort me. Help me to know that you are right there beside me when I need you. God is always right beside us every step of the way, and I, for one, am super thankful for that. Everyone go out, have a great Monday, have a great week, and as always, be the example.